Welcome to Spiritual Success, the podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia Stant. As a dedicated student of metaphysics, I have skillfully honed my intuition, mastered the art of meditation, and cultivated a disciplined spiritual practice that has led me to become a multi-seven-figure top sales producer. Today, I work with thousands of business professionals, entrepreneurs, and their teams to up-level their sales game and create magic in their business and life. On this show, you will see that all success truly happens when you authentically align with your intuition. So come, be vulnerable, be open-minded, and allow success to pour through you here on Spiritual Success. Hello, successful souls. Now, today's episode is about how do we really get in alignment when it comes to creativity? How do we come up with these amazing ideas, get our wheels spinning, get our light bulbs going off so that we can fully have these higher callings, these amazing ideas come and emerge through us so that we can really make an impact, we can stand out, we can really help to serve like in a unique way because of our creative flow. So let's talk about the concept of creativity. What's really important to understand is if we go back, probably in high school, you may have remembered learning in your science classes that nothing is created nor destroyed. What does that mean? If nothing is created and nothing can be destroyed, then everything always has, always will, and does currently now exist. Okay. I understand what that means based off, nothing is created nor destroyed, but what does that mean as far as who I am and what I can do? Well, when it comes to metaphysics, there is the concept of the all. Now, this is a very, very in-depth, very big, big idea. So we're going to break it down a little bit. When it comes to the all, it means that everything around you, you have access to. You are part of. You are part of the whole. You're a unique individual that exists within the whole. So what does that mean? Okay, let's make it super easy because that's how I like to learn things. Let's say I had a giant apple pie. Pie. If I had a giant apple pie, we know what goes in there, right? There's gonna be, the dough, there's gonna be cinnamon, there's gonna be apples, some sugar. I do not know how to bake, but I'm gonna say that those are the common ingredients, right? Let's just say that. Now, as I cut a slice of this pie, there is going to be an individual slice. It's going to be taken out of the whole. Now, if we look at the ingredients that are within this individual slice, we're going to realize it's still the dough, the cinnamon, the apple, the sugar, everything that makes up the whole. You are part of the all. You're a unique individual, but you are part of the all. And that's when we talk about the concept of we are all one. It's because we're all part of a bigger picture. We are all unique individuals, but we have inside of us the same ingredients of everything around us. Do you realize that you, when broken down, the actual physical materials that make you up are the same things that the stars are made out of? You are so divine. You are so magical. And the thing is, because you have all those ingredients within you, you don't have to look for answers outside of you. They're already within. Because we are all consciousness. Again, let's go back to high school. High school. Gotta love high school. So when we go to that science class, we remember playing around with microscopes and we were zooming in and learning things about atoms, right? I'm gonna make it super easy if you can't tell. What are atoms? Well, when we see things that look physical, we know they're not actually solid. They look solid because down here in the lower third dimension, they have a much bigger wavelength. They are slowed down versus, if they were high speed, it'd be much closer distance between each wavelength. They are spread out. And so our physical eye sees them as solid because the wavelength of the particles and the motions that they're in is much slower. But everything is energy. So everything is a bunch of little particles. And as we ascend and raise our vibration, the particles move much faster. And as we get lower, here as we are lower in the third dimension, it looks slower. What I love for you to think about though, and I always do this, is where you are right now, stop. Look around. What do you see? I'm in my office, so I have my desk. I can see a bookshelf. I can see awards. I can see, statues, my little ornaments, all these things, picture frames, right? You notice all the solid things around you. And there may be a lot of things. But now, look at all the space in between them. We don't concentrate on the space. We don't make it part of our daily awareness, but there's so much more space than there is actual objects. And if we actually go to that object and we used a microscope and we saw that it was made out of atoms, we'd really zoom in on the atom and we would realize that that atom is 99% space. What is the space? The space is consciousness. Therefore, we're not actually even solid. We're not. We're a bunch of moving particles. But the particles that make up our skin and our meat suit, that's what I like to call it. It always makes me think of Lady Gaga. Remember the meat suit? Anyway, whatever makes up your meat suit, we're not actually solid. We're just being perceived with our eye as solid. Therefore, nothing actually separates me from the space around me. And when I move my arm, it affects millions. It affects the whole universe because it's like a bunch of marbles that when I move, it pushes all of them and they all shift just a little bit. I have such an impact. I am a unique individual, but everything I do is done for me, by me, and it creates an impact. You have to remember that every day when you wake up, you have such an impact on the world. Are you bringing that into your awareness? Are you doing something about it? Are you leaving a legacy? And so when we realize that we are made out of consciousness and everything is consciousness, we have all the abilities in the world to tune in, tap in, and receive any answer that we want. So here's where it gets really interesting and very rewarding and relieving to me, is that really, when we want to come up with an amazing idea, write the most amazing book, come up with a new program, come up with the best vacation or birthday gift for our spouse, when we want to come up with, the new improvements and the things that are going to change and the new inventions, are we actually coming up with them or are we aligning with them? Nothing is created nor destroyed, so we don't have to create these ideas. We just have to align with them because they already exist. And how do you align? When your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are in alignment, you will get the aligned result. So if you want to come up with the aligned result, you need to have the thoughts, actions, and feelings be there. Now, what happens is a lot of times, if you don't know what something exists, you can't necessarily think of it yet. Or it is true, if you can dream it, you can do it, right? Disney. Picasso says if you can imagine it, it is real. If it is happening in your mind, please know that it exists. Otherwise, how would you experience it? Right? So that's how thoughts can do it. But sometimes our thought will be like, this is the best idea. But then the feeling is like, but how? Whenever you ask how, you are 100% out of alignment. Because the ego, the self, the human aspect of you is never going to understand the how. That's the part you have to leave up to the universe, to God, source, however you want to label it. Because if you have the imagination, that is you going first, and now you let the universe respond. So how do I respond and get my feelings to be in alignment with the thoughts? Aha, I'm going to say it. I'm the huge, huge promoter of it. Meditation. Meditation is when you let go of resistance, is when you let go of thought and you allow yourself to surrender and get into flow state. What is flow state? Flow state is where we are able to receive everything. And some people may say that's where they get in their creative flow, right? Again, creativity is not coming up with something. How relieving is that? You don't have to do all that work. You just need to surrender and tune in, tap in, and allow that to happen. Now, when we hear that word surrender, very often we do not like that word, especially if you are a go, go, go getter and your to-do list is go, go, go. You like being in control. So hearing the word surrender makes you feel as if though you're being vulnerable. And no, we're not talking like vulnerable, like, well, it's me, damsel in distress. No, we're talking about vulnerability as being your biggest superpower. Because when you put yourself out there and trust that you're going to get the answer, you will. But you need to get out of your head and you need to get into flow. And again, flow is disciplining your mind to be able to surrender to the higher callings, to surrender to the higher vibrations, to surrender to God, source, universe, and align on the frequency, just like a radio station, tuning into the right station. You align with the energy flow of this new concept. You go first by imagining it. If you can dream it, you can do it. But then get into the creative state. Just so you know, some of the greatest names out there, Thomas Edison, Einstein, Disney, Picasso, like all these people, Dali, they would get into very meditative states where they would receive their information. Einstein talks about it all the time. Everything he's ever had as an amazing invention came to him in a meditative state through imagination. Thomas Edison used to sit in a meditative state and he would hold bolts, like screws in his hand, over a metal bowl. And he would get in a meditative state. And a meditative state, remember, is not relaxing, it's focusing. It's discipline, focus, to cut off thought and surrender. Because your thought, no matter what thought you have, it doesn't matter how great you think it is, how sexy, how glittery, glamorous you think it is, it's limiting compared to the possibilities that are out there. You're sitting in a limitless sea. You just have to allow them to come to you. And so in order to make sure that he got into a really deep trance and didn't fall asleep, instead of stay focusing, if he was to fall asleep, he would accidentally let go of the bolts and they would drop and go bang, bang, bang right into the metal bowl, wake him up, stir him, and he would make sure that he got back into the trance state. This is the power. The greatest minds out there are telling you success leaves clues. If you want to tune in and really channel that new program, channel this new invention, channel a whole new concept and an idea, this is how you do it. So again, nothing is created, nothing is destroyed. Everything already exists, and not do you have to look on the outside of you. All you have to do is look within, because you are a unique slice of the whole, of the all. It's already within you. So get out of your head, quiet your thoughts, and listen to her, your inner feminine beast. She's the one with all the answers. And remember, she's graceful, she's divine, and she does not have to speak over your loud, noisy, sloppy ego. She will speak when you are ready, right? The teacher will come when the student is ready. So I encourage you, keep meditating. It will change your life. And in the meantime, acknowledge it, embrace it, see it through. See you later, successful souls.
Hey, successful soul. Before you head to the next episode of Spiritual Success, be sure to come join me and other like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals in my Facebook group called Spiritual Success Sorority. Everyone is welcome. And if you're loving the show, you're going to love the group even more. There, I'll be engaging with you weekly in live shows, listening to your input for new weekly topics, and hosting exclusive workshops for members only. So if you're looking to really up-level your financial and personal success, meet me on over in the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group. See you on the inside.